episode of Candid Kaya. Is one of your New Year's resolution to lead a more healthier lifestyle? Well, today I have corporate woman and wellness enthusiast Shayna here to tell us how you can become a vegan. Stay tuned. So hello, Shayna.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you for coming on the show. Tell the viewers just a little bit about yourself.
Sure, so my name is Shayna Johnson. I'm 28 years old from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but my family is Jamaican. And I attended Spelman College, and for the last 6 years, I've been an operations manager at an industrial supply company.
All right, perfect. So let's just jump right into it. Can you tell us what a vegan is, just for clarification, and what can you eat and what can you not eat?
Sure, so my family gets confused with this all the time, and my friends too. A vegan, if you think about it, is someone that just does not eat animal products. So anything that comes from an animal, so meat, dairy products. But some people are a little bit more strict. I'm not. For example, some people say you can't eat honey because it comes from bees. I still like some honey in my tea. Right. So I cheat in that regard. So things that I can eat are just really plant-based products. Beans, chickpeas, legumes, nuts, fruits and vegetables, that kind of thing.
All right, okay. So what's your favorite dish? Vegan dish, that is.
Oh, can I cheat and say 3?
Okay.
All right. Thank you for working with me on that. Okay, so I love Mediterranean food.
Okay.
So falafel.
Okay.
Are you familiar with falafel? It's a chickpea-based dish. Love it. It's really simple and easy to make, and you can really grab it anywhere. My second would be any Ethiopian food.
Okay.
So Ethiopian food is really vegan friendly. All of their vegetables, they're just. If you go to an Ethiopian restaurant and you say, hey, I'm vegan, they know what you're talking about. They don't look at you like you're crazy, and it's good to go. And then the third would be I like to just make my own food. So I like to look online for meat dishes that I can then just change around and then make vegan. So I love Cuban food, and so I like to make vegan Cuban food.
Okay, that's good to know. That gives a little idea of what we can experience if we go vegan. All right, so tell us a little bit about what motivated you to become a vegan.
Ooh, the journey. So let's see. So you may not know this, but a couple years ago, I was 50 to 60 pounds heavier. This was in around 2011 when I was graduating from Spelman. I went on the scale and realized that I was about 210 pounds. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And I realized that I'd been really suffering from some depression, eating as a form to kind of heal from all of that, and just eating really unhealthy. So really my journey to veganism didn't start with just going cold turkey vegan. I don't recommend that myself. How it started was I just started paying attention to what I ate first and how I was exercising. So it really started from how do I eat out but still eat healthy? Because I was just out of college, broke, and really trying to just figure out how to make it. And then from there, as I started cooking on my own, it was how do I just cook regular, enjoyable food and eat it healthy? Then it started off with cutting off certain dishes. And the reason why I did that is I just started researching. The more I started researching recipes, I started researching what was healthy to eat, how could I lose the weight, but also just feel really good because I didn't feel good at that 200-something pounds. So I started off by cutting out pork. That was the first thing that I cut out, which was really hard as a Jamaican because I loved my jerk pork. And my family was like, what are you doing? But I started off there. And then the second thing that I cut off was beef, then chicken, and then from there just started cutting out dairy. What helped me get there was, again, that research and realizing that I could still get all of the nutrients that I needed from eating a vegan diet. The second piece that's usually more strong for people was the environmental piece. I started researching more and more and realized, gosh, there's an environmental impact to the mass production that we have of the foods that we eat. And so I started realizing that, and I'm very passionate. I'm a wellness enthusiast. And so I said to myself, gosh, if you believe so much in the earth and in goodness and well-being, how are you then eating this way that has an impact on animals as well as humans?
All right, good to know. All right, tell us what has been the most difficult part on this journey.
Oh, so my dear friends that eat meat and dairy, that has been the hardest part. I get a lot of judgment. And so me, myself, as a vegan, I will admit there's plenty of vegans out there that are very passionate about what they believe in, especially as it relates to environmental issues, and will kind of impose their beliefs onto others. That's not my style. I am totally fine with eating around people that eat chicken and all that kind of stuff. but people have been very uncomfortable with my beliefs and how I eat, and seem to take issue with it. So they'll ask me questions like, well, how are you getting all your protein? There's no way that you're healthy if you're not eating meat. No wonder you're so skinny. You're not eating good enough. Those kinds of issues. That's been really tough. And then secondly, it is tough to be social in a city like Atlanta. It's getting more vegan friendly, but it's been challenging to find a restaurant that serves both vegan and regular options. Because again, I don't want to impose my beliefs on other people. I want them to feel comfortable and eat well, however they define that. And so it can be hard to find a restaurant that serves both.
Okay, great. All right, Shayna. So of course, earlier this year there was a huge vegan trend going on. Do you know what caused that?
What the Health?
Yes. What the Health did.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on What the Health?
Well, first I'd say any documentary that's spitting like new information out to people, I love. Even if I don't necessarily agree with all of it, it at least gets people thinking and researching and doing some of that on their own. So I will say I'll give What the Health that benefit. It is a biased documentary in that it's from the viewpoint of vegans, and so some of the information I myself can find conflicting information that goes against some of what they said. So some of the information around, it's not necessarily sugar that causes diabetes, it's actually meat. Well, if you do some of the research, you find conflicting information. So it can be hard to kind of read between all of that.
Right.
But there is a particular section that I loved in What the Health. I don't know if you saw that particular part.
Look, I couldn't watch because I was not going to go vegan. And I didn't want to. So
you knew if you watched it, you would have went vegan.
Sure did.
Well, there's a part in it that it wasn't new information to me because in my previous role in marketing at the company that I worked for, I learned a lot about manufacturing, food manufacturing in particular, which was hard. I watched videos of poultry farms and pigs and cows and everything and saw the treatment of these animals, and it touched me. But it wasn't until I realized, gosh, it's not just the animals that are impacted, but it's people.
Right.
And so in a particular part that they play, these plants are usually in low-income neighborhoods. And low-income meaning most of the time minorities as well. And some of the, I really wish you watched it. Some of the things that you'll see on there is pig blood in lakes, pig feces in lakes. The air quality in those areas is very poor, so kids are getting asthma at alarming rates. So some of these issues that I really thought, yes, it's sad that a pig is in a closed-off area and not living a great life, but when I also saw that, gosh, this can now impact Nakai or me or some of my friends or family members or just humans in general, that really opened my eyes. And being able to visualize that on What the Health is a pretty big deal. And so I think that's my favorite part of the entire documentary.
So you talked about your journey to becoming a vegan. What are some of the benefits you've experienced from living a more natural lifestyle?
So as I mentioned before, I was pretty heavy when I started on this journey of healthy living that eventually went into veganism. But I will say I've never had more results workout-wise than when I became a vegan. Before I was vegan, I would try so hard to get those top 2 abs to become like 4 abs and then 6. And now I'm at 4. So,
you're doing better than me then.
So that's the more vain thing. I'd say the side of it is that my body has never been better. But I'd say on the inside, I feel a lot better too. I used to suffer from migraines, used to suffer from allergies, pretty severe allergies. And the lifestyle change that I've had is that I literally haven't gotten actually sick in probably a year and a half. I used to every single winter or any change in the season, I'd be sniffling, coughing, sneezing all over the place. I don't have those issues anymore. I'd also say that my skin has changed. Like I'm softer, I'm brighter, I'm glowing in a way that I hadn't before. Scars heal faster. It's kind of crazy. All of that happened from really just that diet. And for a long time, people would tell me that, like, 90% of it is diet, the rest of it is exercise. And I'm like, okay, sure, nah. If I work out for 3 hours in the gym, I'll be fine. But it really has changed for the better. And recently, I went to the doctor, and high blood pressure runs in my family, high cholesterol, all of these things. And I wasn't high before, but I was kind of getting to that point. And right now, I have low blood pressure, perfect cholesterol, to the point where my doctor even said, questioned me to say, are you drinking enough water? Because that could be a thing for low blood pressure. But once I told him about how much water I drink, he's like, okay, that makes sense. What's your diet? I said, vegan. He said, there we go.
You found the recipe.
I found the recipe.
Wow, okay, good to know. All right, Shayna, so now I want to get just a little bit more of your advice. Why should someone who's looking to lead a more healthier lifestyle consider going vegan, and where should they start?
So first, I would say I want to set out a reminder that just because you're vegan does not mean you're healthy as well. There are plenty of ways to be vegan and be unhealthy. Take it from a person who's been stressed out and really busy lately. I have not been healthy. So I'd say if you're looking to go healthy, first start with the reasons why and what you're hoping to achieve, and then decide the right diet or lifestyle for yourself. If you're going to go healthy and go vegan, I would say start with really exciting recipes. And the best place to start for that personally is Pinterest. I have a board of recipes that I'm looking to try soon. And then I have a board of recipes that I've tried that I love that I always refer to. And secondly, I would say refer to friends and family members and ask them for recipes that are really exciting and delicious, and then try to change them over to be vegan. So one perfect example is a dish that has butter in it, for example. You can get a substitute for vegan butter and make an easy swap. Okay. So that's just one example.
All right, good to know. So what are your tips to sticking with it?
In order to stick with it, you have to, again, know why and try to visually remind yourself why. So for me, for a long time when I was trying to get back healthy, I would make a board of pictures of things that I wanted to achieve in life because I wanted to live a long life. So I didn't just put pictures of bikini models or things like that because it wasn't all about that for me, but it was about I want to go visit Africa at some point in my life. I want to become a mom at some point in my life. So I would put pictures to remind myself of the reason why. And then secondly, again, get back to those fun and exciting recipes. I have a couple of cookbooks that I really, really, really enjoy. One is the Afro Vegan. So it brings in African-inspired dishes and gives them a vegan twist. And I love that one. The other one that I love is called the Sioux Indigenous Cookbook. So it's about indigenous people in America, how they used to eat before good old Columbus came over, and about getting back to some of those more traditional dishes. And a lot of the traditional dishes happen to be plant-based. So a lot of that.
All right. Great. So my last question, Shayna, just is, how has becoming a vegan transformed your life?
Man, in so many different ways. So I'd say it's given me a lot of confidence because when I first became vegan, it wasn't necessarily a popular choice. It is becoming more popular now, so I do have more support. But before then, I got a lot of backlash from my family, from my friends. And so it just gave me confidence in being able to just make a decision for myself that I knew was good. It's really challenged my willpower. So there are times when I do miss certain dishes. Yeah. So, for example, I mentioned I'm Jamaican. Oxtail is one of those dishes that I miss from time to time when I go home to Florida. My mom's cooking it. I'm like, maybe. And then I remember why I'm vegan. So yeah, I'd say it's changed me in the way that I can pretty much handle any kind of temptation that comes my way because I'm able to be around lots of tempting, what I know to be delicious foods often. And I'm still able to live a healthy life and eat my delicious foods that are vegan.
All right, well, that concludes today's interview. Shayna, tell everyone what's next and how we can keep up with you.
Well, exciting news ahead. I just quit my corporate job to pursue things I'm really passionate about. One is to teach English in Colombia. So I'm going to be doing that in January, and I'm super excited about it. And I'm going to be changing my life for the better in that I'm going to be living a more healthy life. I mentioned I've been pretty stressed, so I have not been eating well. I'm going to get back to eating well and share my journey with folks on social media. So my Instagram is Relentless Sunshine, and you guys can follow me there.
All right, perfect. Well, again, we thank you all so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments for Shayna or myself, just leave them below and we'll make sure that they get answered. We'll see you all next time.